Okay, see here, till now, what we have discussed, that is in the solid states, the introductory portion. After that, we have started with the difference between the crystalline and the amorphous substances. उसके बाद में we have started with the types of solids in which, based on the intermolecular forces, or you can also call it as a binding forces, उनके ऊपर से हमने उनको क्लासिफाई किया गया कि जिसमें हमारे पास जो पूरा क्लासिफिकेशन था, दैट वाज ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ द बाइंडिंग एफिनिटी, बाइंडिंग फोर्सेस. सो उसमें हमने molecular solids, in which in molecular solids we have three different classification, three subdivision. One, that is non-polar molecular solids. Then second, that is the polar molecular solids. And the third category, it was the hydrogen bonded. Okay, now we'll move further. So the next one, next category, that is of the ionic solids. So what is ionic solids? Let us see about. So first of all, ions are the constituent particles of ionic solids. They are the constituent particles. There the constituent particles will be the ions. Okay, in case of the ionic solids, as the name it suggests, such a solids are formed by three-dimensional arrangement of cations and anions bound by the strong Coulombic or the electrostatic force. When they bind, they do possess, see here the cations and anions are there, that is positive charge and negative charge ions are there. So they do have the strong Coulombic, or you can also call it as a electrostatic forces. उनके बीच में बहुत strong वाला Coulombic या फिर electrostatic force होने वाला है. These solids are hard and brittle in the nature. They are very hard as well as the brittle. They have high melting point and boiling point. Their MPBP, that is melting point and boiling point, that is very high. Since the ions are not free to move about, in case of the ionic state, see, they are having the binding force. So they are not having the in the free state. Okay, वो free नहीं है. They are having the binding with the other. Positive is bind with the negative, negative is bind with the positive. Okay, so they are not having the free electron or the free ions to move. Okay, उनके पास कोई भी free ions नहीं होते move करने के लिए. Okay, that is why they are electrically insulators in the solid state. तो वो कैसे है? Insulators. Okay, means they cannot pass the electricity. Okay, however in the molten state, suppose ये देखो reason पूछते हैं आपको, the ionic solids when they are available in the solid state, they do not conduct the electricity, whereas when they are available in the molten state, then they conduct the electricity. What is the real reason behind that? The reason is very simple. एक ही reason है, that is when they are available in the solid state, at that time they do not have any free ions to pass the electricity, whereas in case of the molten state, when you add little bit amount of the water, or when they are available in the molten state, so they have free ions to move. Okay, so when you dissolve in the water, they have free ions, because of which they can conduct the electricity. Okay, so this is what the reason in the ionic solid, you need to remember it. Okay, after that, the next category that we have, that is the metallic solids. First one, that is what yesterday we have done, that is the molecular. Then today we have started up with the ionic solids. Now the second category of today, that is the metallic solids. So let us see what is it. So the metals are orderly collection of the positive ions surrounded by, held together by a sea of free electrons. Means the positive ions will be at the center, and then it is surrounded by negatively charged electrons in case of the metals. So once again, the positive ions are surrounded by or held together by the sea of electrons, and they do possess the free electrons. Okay, these electrons are mobile. Mobile matlab ki free, and are evenly spread out throughout the crystal. जो इलेक्ट्रॉन है आसपास, the sea of electron, okay, it is the mobile, it can move from one place to the other place. Okay, so and it is moved throughout the crystal, okay, in a even manner. सब जगह अच्छे से वो इलेक्ट्रॉन जो है वो डिस्ट्रीब्यूटेड हो जाएंगे. Okay, then each metal atom contributes one or more electrons towards this sea of mobile electrons. Suppose you have the one metal ion, two metal ion, three metal ion, one metal, two metal, three metal, four metal. Okay, so what they are saying over here, each metal atom, they contributes minimum one or more electron towards the sea of mobile electrons. Let us see that. Suppose if I say sodium, that is 281. So in the outermost orbit, you will be having the one electron. Whereas suppose if I say magnesium, then it is 282. Okay, so in the outermost orbit, you will be having the, just a minute. Yes. So over here, in case of magnesium, you will be having the 2 electrons in the outermost orbit. Okay, whereas in case of aluminium में अगर आप देख लो तो 283, मतलब कि बाहर की ऑर्बिट में आपको 3 इलेक्ट्रॉन पाए जाएंगे. ओके, सो ये जो 1, 2 and 3, 1, 2, 3 जो है, ठीक है, दिस मच इलेक्ट्रॉन इज गोइंग टू हेल्प टू कंडक्ट द इलेक्ट्रिसिटी. ओके, so these free electrons are mobile electrons which are responsible for both the thing, high electrical and the thermal conductivity of the metals. अगर आपको कोई पूछे metals why they pass the electricity as well as the thermal energy from one place to the other place. Okay, so the reason is that because in the metal in the outermost orbit they do possess 1, 2 and 3 electrons in the outermost orbit. Okay, and they can allow this 1, 2 and 3 electrons to move it. Okay, so because of that they can pass the electricity as well as the thermal energy. When an electric field is applied, these electrons flow through the network of positive ions. Similarly, when the heat is supplied to the one portion of the metal and the thermal energy is uniformly spread throughout the by free electrons. Now let us take the example. Suppose you have one rod, iron rod, okay, and one candle at the one corner. If you burn the candle, okay, the flame, when the flame of the candle is touching to the one of the end of the metal, after few time, if you will check the temperature of the other corner or the other end of the metal rod, okay, then the temperature will rise. The reason is what? Over here, when iron is there, so they do possess the free electrons in the outermost orbit. Okay, so when you apply the heat energy from the one corner, this heat energy will be transmitted or the transferred from the one corner to the other corner, okay, by these free electrons. Okay. After that, another important characteristic of metal is the luster. Now, these we are aware, the color in the certain cases. Metal, they do possess the shining appearance. Okay, suppose this is, I think so, made up of an alloy, but then you can say that there are few portions, the few amount of the metal will be there. Okay, so here this particular surface is having the shining. Okay, so the shining appearance is because of the metal. Okay, so they do possess the luster as well as in few cases, okay, they have the color. Okay, now this is also due to the presence of free electrons. Now see, these MCQ they used to ask. Okay, what is the MCQ? Why metal possess luster and color in the certain cases? What is the reason behind that? Then the one of the option you will be getting, that is because of the free electrons in them. Okay, and then metals are highly malleable and the ductile. Now these about the physical properties of the metals. Okay, you are aware. Okay, so this is what the metallic solids. Okay, now the next category, what we have it, that is the covalent or the network solids. Covalent or network solids. Either you can call it as a covalent or you can call it as a network solids. So let us see that. Yes. A wide variety of crystalline solids of non-metals result from the formation of the covalent bonds between the adjacent atoms throughout the crystal. So we have a huge variety of the crystalline solids which are made up of the non-metals. So when the non-metals, they used to form the covalent bond between the adjacent atom throughout the crystal, then whatever the molecule is going to form, that we are considering as a giant molecules. Once again, suppose if I say the carbon, okay, the carbon can bind with the 4 other carbon atom. Likewise, suppose once again this carbon, the continuation of the carbon, carbon-carbon long chain is going to form because of the catenation property. Okay, so when covalent bond is going to form between the carbon atoms, okay, or the other non-metals, then whatever the big molecule is going to form, okay, which is called as a giant molecules. Okay, and here there is a formation of covalent bond is there. Okay, and the covalent bond formation is taking place, which is the very strong and directional. It is not the random. Okay, it is very strong and directional in nature, so it is very much specific. Therefore the atoms are held very strongly at their positions. So when the covalent bond is going to form, okay, then the bond is very much strong and the directional. Okay, such a solids are very hard and brittle. So means they are, once again, they are hard because of the covalent bond formation. Okay, and the brittle. Even they have very extremely high melting points. Even they decompose before melting. See, these you need to remember. They are having very, or you can say extremely high melting points. Okay, they even decompose before melting. पिघलने के पहले वो टूट जाएंगे, उतने स्ट्रॉन्ग होते हैं because of the covalent bond formation. Okay, now After that, they are the insulators and do not conduct the electricity. Okay, they do not conduct the electricity because they do not have any free electrons. Okay, but we have the exception in case of the covalent molecules or network solids. Okay, that we'll be discussing over here. Now here, the diamond and silicon carbide are the typical example of such a solids. Those who do not conduct the electricity, diamond and silicon carbide. Whereas the exception quality of one network solid that we have it, that is the graphite. In case of the graphite, it is very soft and the conductor of electricity. Its exceptional properties are due to the typical structure. Now let me explain you the structure of diamond and structure of graphite. In case of the diamond structure, if you see all the layers, okay, the one carbon is in the association with the 1, then 2, 3 and 4. So we are aware that in case of the carbon, the valency of the carbon is 4. That is the tetravalency of the carbon. And all the 4 valencies is satisfied by the other carbon atom in case of the diamond. And they form the network structure. Between the carbon-carbon atom, there is a bond length of 154 picometer. And they do not having the much, you can say the spaces or the distance between the layers of the diamond. And even they do not have the any free electrons also. That is why the diamond is non-conductor of electricity. Whereas if we are talking about the graphite structure, the structure of graphite, if you see the diagram, yes. In case of the structure of graphite, if you see, we are having the layer number 1, layer number 2 and layer number 3. There are 3 layers. Okay. And if you check the valency of carbon, okay, there you will be having only 3 valency of carbon which is satisfied. See this carbon. This is 1, this one is 2, and then this one is the 3. So the one carbon atom is binded by 3 other carbon atoms in case of the structure of graphite. So you will be having the 1 electron, means 1 carbon, 1 valency, which is vacant. And this 1 free electron is going to help the graphite to move electron from one layer to the other layer, second layer to the third layer to the second layer, then the second layer to the first layer. So likewise, the movement of electron is there in the case of the structure from the first layer to the second layer to the third layer to the second, and the previous one. Okay. So this is what the reason that the graphite conduct the electricity. Okay. See that the graphite is soft and the conductor of electricity. Why it is so, I have explained you just now. Its exceptional properties are due to its typical structure. That is in figure I have explained you. Okay. There are 3 layers. Okay. Each carbon in all these layers. Okay. It has the 3 covalency. Okay. And the one of the valency it is not satisfied. Okay. So this 1 electron is going to help the graphite to move the 1 electron from the first layer to the second to the third one. Okay. Then the carbon atoms are arranged in different layers, and each atom is covalently bonded to the 3 of its neighboring atoms in the same layer. The 4th valence electron of each atom is present between the different layers, and
free to move about. So that is what I say. The fourth electron is going to move from one place to the other place, from the first layer to the second layer to the third layer. Okay. These free electrons make the graphite as a good conductor of electricity. Now the different layers can slide one over the other, means they can side it. The one layer can move likewise, suppose. Okay, so they can slide on each other. Okay, and this makes the graphite soft solid and a good solid lubricant. Now because of this property of the graphite, it can used as a band in the big machines. So where the friction is more, you can apply the graphite band or the graphite, okay, because of the softness. Now see here, till now, whatever we have discussed, okay, see the even the topic, the one more session I have to take it, that is for the JEE NEET, but still from this particular chapter, specifically for JEE NEET, any important MCQs I have not got for whatever the topics which we have covered it till now. Okay, but then there are few MCQs which is coming from the in between. I used to mention it along with the session only. Okay, so as the topic of JEE NEET from this particular chapter, when we'll cover it, immediately I'll start the JEE NEET session. Okay, so don't worry about that also. Now we have a bunch of MCQ. Okay, a bunch of MCQ I used to say in this particular table, that is different types of solids. Okay, lot of MCQs are there when you are going to talk about for the Guchkate or board, even maybe sometime in NEET also, or sometime in JEE also. Okay, a bunch of MCQ. Once again I used to say, so if you have the physical textbook, okay, then just write on the table number 1.2, that is a lot of MCQ or the bunch of MCQ. Okay, and you can see how the questions, how the MCQs can be prepared. Okay, I'll explain through this particular table. Now, first of all, the topic which we have covered, that is type of solid. The first one, that is what yesterday which we have done. Okay, that is the molecular solids. In case of the molecular solids, the first one, that is the non-polar, then it was the polar and the hydrogen bond. Then what are the constituent particles in them? They are the molecules, whether it is non-polar, polar, or hydrogen bonded. So MCQ has started. In molecular solids, what are the constituent particles? It is the molecules. Or else they can directly ask the in polar molecular solids, what is the constituent particles? Then once again the molecules. Hydrogen bonded molecular solid, what are the constituent particles? It is once again the molecules. So MCQ has started now. Okay. After that, if you see the bonding attractive forces in all this, whether it is polar, non-polar, or the hydrogen bonded, which kind of the attractive force is playing a role? That is dispersion or the London forces. In case of the non-polar, that is weak dispersive forces. When we have discussed, I have said you. After that, we have the polar. So in case of the polar, the attractive forces, that is dipole-dipole interactions. And in case of the hydrogen bonded, that is the hydrogen bonding, the attractive force. See here, you can prepare the, even if you remember this table, then you can prepare a short note also of molecular solids. In case of non-polar, the first point you can write here, the constituent particles are the molecules. Point number one. Second point,
the attractive force in case of the non-polar molecular solid, that is dispersive forces or the London forces. Point number 3, the examples for non-polar molecular solids, they are the argon, CCl4, H2I2, CO2. Okay. Point number 4, the nature is the soft and they do not conduct the electricity. 5 points you can prepare from this particular table for the non-polar also. Now suppose for polar, if you wanted to prepare it, then you can say that the here constituent particles are molecule itself, then the attractive forces are the dipole-dipole interactions. Okay, then the examples of the polar molecular cells, that is HCl, SO2. Okay, then they are the soft in nature, and once again they are the insulator. Okay, so you don't have to go to refer the previous one or two pages. If you remember this table, my dear student, then you can prepare the answer by yourself also. Even you can able to solve the MCQ by using this table. Okay. Along with that, if you remember this table, then you can prepare a theory also from this only. Okay. Then the third category, that is the hydrogen bonded. The constituent particles will be the molecules itself. Okay. Then the attractive forces which is playing a role, that is the hydrogen bonding over here. Then the next point, that is the examples, that is H2O, that is for the ice. And the nature is the hard and they do not conduct the electricity. Okay. So this is what, see, the few points very easily you can remember, like the softness and insulator. In all molecular solid, the conductivity, they are the insulator. They do not pass the electricity. This you can write. कुछ भी आए ना आए, आप इतना तो लिख ही सकते हो. Okay. Then in non-polar and polar, the nature is the soft. Whereas in case of the hydrogen bonded, then it is the strong or the hard. Okay. After that, we'll be moving to the after molecular solids, where today which we have started, the first one, that is the ionic solids. Okay. So in case of the ionic solids, the constituent particles, they are the ions. Okay. The constituent particles, they are the ions. Then the next category, the forces of attraction, that is Coulombic or the electrostatic force. The examples are NaCl, MgO, ZnS, CF2. Then they are hard and brittle. When they are available in the solid state, they are the insulators, means they do not conduct the electricity. But when you dissolve in them water, okay, then they can pass the electricity. Okay, means the aqueous state, they can conduct the electricity. Then they are high. Okay. So once again, 4 to 5 points you can prepare it by using this particular table. Okay, for the ionic. Then the next one, that is metallic solids. Okay. So let us see about the metallic solids. What is it? The positive ions in a sea of delocalized electrons. Centrally positive ions surrounded by a sea of electrons. Then it is having the metallic bonding. The examples are iron, copper, silver, magnesium. Hard but malleable and ductile. Conductors in the solid state as well as in the molten state. Okay, in case of the metallic solids. And fairly high. Okay. Then the next one and the last category, that is covalent. The constituent particles are the atoms. The covalent bonding is there. Example is SiO2, that is quartz, silicon carbide, SiC, carbon, then diamond, okay, and the carbon, and aluminum nitride. Then here diamond and graphite, they have given differently. Diamond is very hard, insulators, and very high electricity. Okay. They do not conduct electricity. the strength is very high. Whereas in case of the carbon, graphite, carbon only, but graphite, then softness, then the conductor, it is an exceptional quality. Okay, so these things you need to remember. Okay, now we have the in-text question. Okay, that is the question number 1.6 to 1.9. Let us see that. Okay, one by one. The first question, that is question number 1.6. Okay, let us read the question. Classify the following solids in different categories based on the nature of the intermolecular forces which are attracting between them. Okay, so what we have it, the topic which we have done it, that is molecular solids, metallic solids, ionic solids, okay, and the covalent or the network solids. Okay, from there only we need to do these particular things. Okay, so you need to classify all this material. Okay, all this material we have to classify it. After that, second question, solid A is very hard. An electrical insulator in a solid as well as in the molten state and melts at extremely high temperature. What type of solid it is? A solid A is there, which is an hard and insulator in a solid as well as molten state and melts at extremely high temperature. Which kind of solid it is? ये पहेली है, आपको सुलझानी है. Okay, from molecular solids, ionic solids, covalent or network solids. Okay, from there only. Okay, then so you can guess it. Okay, it is a covalent solid. इसमें क्या आएगा? Covalent solid. Okay, और network solid लिख सकते हो. Okay, after that ionic solids conduct electricity in the molten state but not in the solid state. Explain. अभी मैंने explain किया आपको. Okay, when they are available in the solid state, they do not have any free electrons or the ions. Okay, so that they cannot pass the electricity. Okay, whereas suppose when they are available in the molten state, that they have the free ions or the electrons to move about, so they can pass the electricity. Okay, then after that, the next question, what type of solids are electrical conductors? That is malleable and ductile. So it is the metallic solids have these characteristics. कौन सा solid आएगा? Metallic solids. Okay, so this is what the topic which we have done it today. Okay, now this crystal lattice and unit cells will be discussing tomorrow. Okay, but tomorrow is holiday, that is Sunday. Okay, now in this, if you have any doubt, then you can ask. किसी को कुछ भी डाउट हो